today and the last couple of days have been great for me, but that's not what's important. I'm sorry, I'm in a very wacky mood because I just finished homework. So, anyway, this is chapters 11 through 15 of Lock the Doors. That's what's important here. Chapter 11. Why are you so interested in me? I ask Amy. I spent yesterday hiding from her, watching from afar and trying to work out if she's got a secret or if she's just a girl attempting to settle into a new school. She hasn't spoken to anyone else, not while I've been watching. At break, she sat alone in the courtyard, writing in her notepad, and at lunch, she picked the table closest to the trash. It's as if she doesn't want to be included. But this morning, she crept up on me and said, "Eat lunch with me," before I could answer. So now we're back in the cafeteria, and she grins and asks, "Who says I'm interested?" "Because you want to eat with me, and on your first day you asked for a tour you'd already had." I keep having flashbacks to the first time we met. This isn't the same person, and that worries me. But I'm still sitting with her, and that worries me more. When she looks away, I stare, trying to make sense of her. "What you said before, about me being scared of you? Why did you say that?" Amy's smile slips and fades, but she doesn't answer. Instead, she packs up her lunch and says, "We all scare each other sometimes." I should tell her that I live in her house now, but something stops me. It feels like a secret I need to keep, a mystery I can control, while I can try to figure out the one sitting next to me. Chapter 12. "Where are you?" Mom asks, standing in the doorway. "What?" You zoned out. "Where did you go?" "Nowhere." I can't tell her the truth, that I was daydreaming about a girl. When I think of Amy, something swirls inside me, a strange kind of sickness that wraps around my nerves. I was replaying what she said and how she said it, and now it feels like Mom can read my mind. Mom smiles and sits on my bed. Glancing at the wall, she says, "We should decorate. Whatever you want." She touches my hand, and I let her because I know what this means. She's waited half a lifetime to choose wallpaper in a house she won't need to escape from and buy ornaments that won't be smashed within a week. This is her forever home. "Sure," I say, even though I'm not as ready to make this place our own, not if it means forgetting what happened here before we arrived. I need to know what that is first. I need to know if the sad Amy, who wouldn't look me in the eye, suffered the way Mom used to. If anyone should understand why I'm worried about the holes, it's my mother. But Jay has made her forget quicker than I can. Whatever Mom thinks about her old life, she does it in secret when none of us are around. "Do you like it here?" she asks, and I can see the hope behind her eyes. I can't say no. I can't say not yet. I can't say anything except yes, because her heart is only held together by a few small things and a few big ones. One of the big things is Jay. He showed her that not all men are monsters, and the smaller ones are moments like this, when I could be honest, or I could be kind. When I could be honest, or I could be kind. "It's amazing," I say, and for a second I think I've gone too far. But Mom squeezes my hand. "It is, isn't it?" I glance at the holes in my door, then back to my mother. We spent a lot of time sitting on my bed, but usually we've been hiding, waiting for someone to leave or someone to call down or sober up. This is a new experience for us, and I can't ruin it now. "I'm glad you're happy," I say, and Mom beams. "Me too," she says. 13. My mom won my dad in a raffle. It's okay if you don't believe me. Most people don't. But my parents, when they were together, used to perform how they met like a play. Dad always started. "On the most important yesterday," he would say, "fate woke up in a very good mood." Mom met Dad at the fire station in town. It was an open day, there was a raffle, and she bought a ticket. When her number was called, there was only 2 firefighters left, and she nearly chose the other one. "There was something about your dad," she would say. "I missed him when I looked away. Even then." When they got married, Dad framed the raffle ticket and hung it over their bed, and every morning I would touch it and say thank you. Mom said they were my first words. She said, while most babies say Mama or Dada first, I said thank you to fate. And then one Christmas, while I was jumping on their bed, I knocked the ticket off the wall. How people topple from buildings in films, in slow motion, that's how the ticket fell. And on the carpet behind cracked glass, it didn't look magical anymore, just dead. I cried a lot that Christmas. That was the last day I ever saw the ticket on the wall, and the last time I ever thanked fate for my parents' meeting. When Dad had gone and Mom was putting his stuff in boxes, I watched her find the ticket and stare at it and cry. I don't know where it is now, but sometimes I wonder if they'd still be together if I hadn't smashed the frame. It's stupid, I know, but that was the start of all the shit. And something was the reason, so why not me? I was 4 when Dad left. I know divorce works differently for different people, but for him, when he said goodbye, he meant it. He sent cards when he remembers, and money when he feels guilty, but I haven't seen him in 12 years. Mom replaced him with arseholes and bruises and tears, and eventually with Jay. 14. No one was home when my package arrived, so I have to collect it from our neighbor after school. When Mrs. Hawkins answers her door, she's bent over, a stick in one hand and an alarm hanging round her neck. She looks at least 80, and I feel guilty for making her move. The package is propped in her hallway, and I watch her slowly pick it up and pass it to me. I'm sorry for bothering you, I say, then again louder, when she points at her ear. No bother, she replies. I'm always here. She's breathing hard, one hand resting against the wall, so I thank her and say goodbye, because she needs to sit down and I need to get back to my room. First, I get the screwdrivers from under the kitchen sink, then I unpack the box and spread the instructions on my bed. I've never done DIY before, but this is different. I need to know if a lock fits the holes in my door, so I bought one. I think back to Mom patching over the holes caused by men's anger. After Dad, she learned to repair plaster and fix door frames. Her DIY wasn't building new things, it was rescuing what others destroyed. If you look close enough, you could see the cracks in us as well, glued together like the bits of broken furniture. And now we're here, safe in a house where Amy may have been in danger. Some want proof before they believe paranoid people, so here goes. I screw the metal plate in place, then lock my door from the outside and slide the lock across. It finds the hole perfectly, but I'm not happy. I was right, and that's not a good thing. I turn the handle and push, but the door holds firm, and I imagine Amy on the other side. What are you doing? Nia asks. She's staring at me like I've killed the cat, but that's just her face. It's the wrong side, idiot, unless you want to be locked in. I know, I reply. I'm just trying something. She doesn't ask what or why. She just sighs and closes her bedroom door. After I've removed the lock only for a second, I think about screwing it to Nia's door and trapping her inside. It might teach her a lesson. I could say I'll only let her out if she's a bit nicer to me. But honestly, I don't care if she's moody. She's angry because her parents split up and took one kid each. Jay took Nia and her mom took her brother Aaron. I didn't have that choice. If I had, I would have chosen Mom anyway. But it must be hard for a child to pick a parent when they're pulling from both sides. Every Saturday, Aaron stays the night, and it's the only time my stepsister smiles. They goof around while I watch from outside their invisible circle. And when Aaron goes, that version of Nia leaves as well. I think she misses being a big sister. I'm not an Aaron substitute, and I never will be. Mom says to give it time. She says we're a blended family now, which I guess is better than a broken one, but blended families can still have cracks. I hold the lock in my hand and think about giving it to Amy as a present. You can do what you want with this one, I'd say, and she would smile because she'd understand. Then she'd tell me what happened here. But that's just wishful thinking, and I'm not brave enough to take the risk. Instead, I put it in my bedside drawer and wait until I have the courage to show Mom and Jay that I was right. 15. This place is awesome, Zach says, running from room to room like I've bought it specially for him. When I don't reply, my best friend says, "Which one is Nia's?" I point and he knocks. When he answers, Zach says, "I'm here for the tour." My heart stops as I remember Amy saying the same thing at school, but he doesn't look at me. He just walks past my stepsister and says, "Now this has character." "Get out," Nia says, but there's no venom in her voice. If anything, there's a smile that sits in the corners of her mouth and a warmth in her warning. She likes Zach more than she'll ever like me. Maybe it's because he doesn't care, or maybe it's because I'm too sensitive. That's what he thinks. He says if I stop giving a shit, Nia will stop acting so bitchy. But I do give a shit. That's who I am. I can't just turn it off. You need to decorate, Zach says. Your room looks like a prison cell compared to this. Nia flashes me a look I can't interpret. Wait until Zach has left, then closes the door behind him. You shouldn't piss her off, I say. She loves it. She'd be pissed off if I didn't go in there. What do you think of her door? I ask. Zach glances at it. It's all right. Do you notice anything? He looks again, then shakes his head and says, not really. What about those? I point at the 8 tiny holes and Zach looks closer. I don't get it. No one does. But who's wrong, me or them? Don't you think it's weird? It looks like this locked from the outside. Mine does too. Zach is quiet for a while, then says, That is weird. You think so? Yeah, did your mom try to lock you in again? It's not funny. I think something bad happened here. You think something bad happened everywhere? I don't say it usually does. I just take the lock from my room and hold it against the door. It fits perfectly. I think Amy was locked in. Zach makes a face. Who's Amy? He's been out sick for a few days, so I tell him everything. And when I'm done, he doesn't say I'm foolish. He sits in silence for 2 long minutes, then he finally nods and says, If you won't ask her, I will.